Okay guys, so next up is Grimstroke, another really fun hero to play. Great set of skills including silence and like a damage over time that ends up with a stun, dealing a AoE stun, and then ult that pretty much transfers any damage and effects from one target to the other. So let's say I bind two targets here. Maybe somebody from my team comes in and casts Hex on one guy. The Hex is immediately going to transfer to the other target as well. Silence effects, any damage, so stuff like that. The potential of his ult is just crazy, how far he can go, right? So the hero is pretty much set already with the spells. It doesn't need that much in terms of items to be great already. Some stuff that I like that kind of synergizes with the whole thing, and some items that kind of work for mobility, because you don't really have there's no leaps, there's no jumps, you don't really get blink, so that's kind of why Force Staff is there, right? But to start the hero off, I just get the boot, and of course you can use the old trick whenever you want to get Etherlands. Etherlands is pretty much just for that extra cast range. Can be pretty big for Inkswell. As you can see, Inkswell even with Etherlands is still not that amazing, and this is one of the bigger spells that you want to cast. Becomes really great with level 15 talent that gives movement speed, so you can really use this to save somebody as well. You know, give them a quickly a nice boost to their speed so they can quickly get out. So, and I mean, there's also Shard, but Shard is not as crazy at this, right? So you kind of don't want to get that extra cast range. It also solves your mana problem. It does this everything same as the arcane boots, but it also gives you the nice cast range, right? And the way you go with this is you just get boots. Get energy booster that's in here containing this as well. You get arcane boots first, you get the extra mana, you can refresh mana and everything. You just kind of farm for the void stone. I don't mean really farm last hit, don't last hit and still farm. I just mean when you get it, you would get void stone and you would get the recipe for this. You just disassemble boots, unlock, right click disassemble, and then right click or energy booster, unlock it, and they're gonna nicely combine into Etherlands. And Etherlands is really nice. Like I said, solves the whole mana issue, gives you nice cast range. You don't need it for this, especially also for the silence effect. You know, if somebody's running away, they're about to cast something again or whatever, you can kind of silence them from afar, and if your teammates are there, they can benefit from that silence and you know, have a lot less trouble killing the target. So that's why Etherlands can always go later on into Octarine Core if you want. 25% reduction, cooldown reduction, all of your spells, all of your items, but it's kind of pricey. It's not really what you want to do immediately anyways, but yeah, you like make a nice item that can be upgraded. So what I said about mobility problem is why we get Force Staff. I don't have any leaps, I don't have any jumps, I don't get blink. It's easy to get stuck with Grim. He's not really quick in that way. He doesn't go really with the phase boots. I mean, I guess you can go phase boots here then, increase your mobility a bit, but I just kind of usually go for tranquil boots. So I'm kind of covered, you know, this covers my mana, pool and regeneration, this covers my health, gives me the bonus movement speed and also regeneration when I'm out of combat. I just kind of like combining those, right? So I probably just actually get tranquil here. So Force Staff for my movement, you know, the usual stuff. You can save anybody running away. You can kind of push them out with this. If they keep chasing, you can cast the Inkswell. That's why I need extra range. So anybody that keeps chasing while the Inkswell is loaded, is gonna stun him, is gonna deal damage. So you kind of want to make it as problematic as you can for anybody chasing somebody from your team, right? Like, be a nice support. Glimmer Cape is the same way. Again, if anybody needs help running away, you can cast this, and if you have Force Staff, you can even push them out of the danger. So Glimmer Cape, even if they kind of use the dust or ward, the item is not useless anyways, because there's still 50% magic resistance while this effect lasts. So even if they nuke the target, even if there's somebody like Lion that just wanna nuke whoever's running away, it's gonna block 50% of that damage anyways, you know. So cannot go with Glimmer Cape, you can never go wrong, and you know, it's just another way so you can also save yourself. Get out and then see if you want to go back, cast these on somebody, or just continue the fight, run back, you know, whatever you want to do. So it's kind of what I get, you know, the usual pack. I just get put into Etherlands and then into either Force Staff or Glimmer Cape. Whatever I get, I finish with the second one because you kind of need all of these. So this is a really nice 3-pack, right? Just to make the hero all rounded and have everything really. And it's not that much of a price to get them. They're kind of all smaller items, right? It's not something crazy like Hex or Scepter and whatnot. And yeah, that will be it. The game might even end before you get all 3, or when you get all 3, the game might end already. If not, if the game still goes on, there's always Aeon Disc. A good old Aeon Disc, nice boost with health and mana, gives you another life. If they gank you, gives you time to cast this on yourself, or the Force Staff, or Inkswell, or silence them and continue fighting. Maybe some of your teammates jump in to try and help you. At that point, it's also a strong dispel, so you just remove any. Let's say there's been like Venom's Slow or Gondar's Track. You kinda delete those immediately once there's procs. So there's also that. There's also the good old Yule as well, Yule Scepter. Yule Scepter, of course. So let's say you get silenced, you can cancel silence by lifting yourself up, removes the debuff. If there's any stun flying towards you, you can use this. If somebody throws any debuffs on you, like Last Word from Silencer or the first spell, I forgot the name. Once you go up on this and go back down, you're gonna remove all the damage that those spells would do, and you also don't get silenced by the Last Word, for example. So as usual, Yule is just a great tool. Disrupts any channeling spell. Again, if there's Witch Doctor, Crystal Maiden playing against you, they just start casting their ults. This also immediately interrupts them because it's silenced, but whatever, if anything happens to this, or this is on cooldown, there's always a second way to just immediately interrupt them. And that's why having Etherlands is also so nice, because you'll be able to do it as soon as you get in the range. Gives you a lot of extra cast range, you can see. So you can disable somebody right over there, right? It's a really nice cast range. This also becomes all the way there. So just another way, of course, interrupting any ults. If there's Legion Commander ulting, Troll Warlord, Pudge, you know, stuff like that, where you just kind of want to stop them in their tracks immediately. Of course, if they're not affected by Black King Bar, you know, but yeah, so that's the use of Yule Scepter. As always, amazing, so many uses out of this item that you can get. And yeah, if the game went that long, I would probably end up with something like this. I would just get the shard buffs the Inkswell, 40% more damage and heal. When the whole thing expires, the damage stuff and the stun hits. Shard is also nice. It's nothing huge, but the heal can be pretty nice, right? Casting on somebody that's also always in the fight. Maybe your off laner, maybe your carry, your mid. It can be pretty beneficial to them in that way, especially if they're in the whole mess and they're dealing with a bunch of maybe maybe they're closer to enemy heroes or something, you know. So it can be a great value. Other than this, couple of items like Ghost Scepter. If you got problem with right-click heroes, if there's maybe there's Draw Ranger kind of hunting you and just wants to silence you and kill you, you do have these that just ignore silence effect, but just like for example, maybe she pops Dust, maybe there's Ursa that just blinks on you. Ursa can easily one-shot you, so one of the best items against that hero, against Juggernaut. If Juggernaut ults you, you just press this, completely ignore his ult. He's gonna keep cutting, but he's not gonna deal any damage. So Ghost Scepter is always there. It can be made into Ethereal Blade. Ethereal Blade can be casted. This effect basically becomes like a ranged disable. You can use that on your allies if anybody else is getting hit by melee by physical damage. It can be used on enemies. Cast extra spell damage on them. You know, a lot of ways also to bump this, but as it is in its default state is also amazing. There's also Lotus Orb. This more if there's a lot of targeted spells, something like Lion, something like Shadow Shaman. They pack a lot of hexes, stuns, shackles. Maybe there's Ogre Magi combined with Chaos Knight, with Red King, Vengeful Spirit. You know, sometimes they combo it so bad that there's just a bunch of immediately castable spells that are a huge problem. So having this and kind of giving this, let's say, to your offlaner that's about to blink in and tank, yeah, that's pretty good for him. You can save him a lot of damage, a lot of disables. They can't just kind of stack. You know, I'm gonna hex him. When he gets out of hex, I'm gonna stun him. When he gets out of stun, I'm gonna stun him with another spell. They can't do that effectively with this on. It's gonna protect him a lot. And you know, exactly, heroes like Lion and Shadow Shaman, they can't just connect two of their disables. They're gonna get hit back immediately. So if like Shadow Shaman wants to hex you and shackle you, as soon as he gets hexed, he's gonna get hexed back, and you know, once you get out, it's you can deal with him or just get away. Somebody can also help you. So a lot of uses for this, but again, this depends much more on the enemy team. If enemy team is like that, then I make this. If not, skip it. Last one is always Hex. Hex is Hex. I mean, you don't really get any benefit from the Mystic Staff or from the Void Stone, the items, but Ultimate Orb still gives you nice, some extra health, right? So there's benefit to that. Effect is also great. You can combo this with the Inkswell, get him from Hex into Stun, or from Stun into Hex, into Silence. So yeah, a lot of ways to get value, but usually made kind of as a last slot, and maybe just bump your Etherlands into core. You know, that's a lot of money. The game will probably end, like I said, with just a couple of your basic items. The game's probably gonna be over. So something like this probably with my build, with, you know, if you need a Yule, if you need this for right clickers, this for targeted spells, get the shard. Scepter can be nice, but it's a lot of money. It's one target, and rarely I get real value out of this. It was like a couple of games where there was like a crazy fed sniper in their team, and I would kind of guess this on their sniper, and the illusion would totally destroy him. But that was kind of with some couple of disables on him as well. It was a horrible game. But yeah, something like that. Illusion gets the best value when that hero is really kind of fat on items. Otherwise, the illusion is not gonna do that much damage. Target also needs to be there, so they can just leave, and your illusion will just chase and then disappear. So, you know, not a big fan of Scepter really. But yeah, that would be it. On the lane, I just like getting Phantom Embrace and Inkswell. Usually I just get the third level of this before I stop. Third level because it goes from, as you can see, attacks to destroy. It goes from 6 to 9. And there's no point taking two levels of these and then stopping. You want to get the third one, so it goes to 9 attacks. It's shorter for heroes, of course, but it's still 3 attacks instead of 2 attacks, and that can be a lot in Dota, right? 1 attack can be a lot. You also get a much lower cooldown, and Inkswell is just really great tool to use defensively as well early on. If they kind of surround the hero that you're on the lane, you can just kind of give in this. If they keep chasing, they're gonna be taking AoE damage. That AoE damage is not so big, but it's more about the stun effect, that when this explodes, when the duration expires, you're gonna do a nice AoE stun. So if they wanna keep chasing, they should always know once you cast this, they kind of have to let him go, especially if it's a melee one chasing, because you're always gonna get stunned and the hero's gonna get away. You're not gonna do anything, so that's why Inkswell is so great. Offensively, of course, if you're chasing somebody, it's best used when hero has like a mobility options like Faceless Void. This is really nice for Faceless Void. You can give him this, he can immediately jump on the enemy hero. The AoE starts doing damage, and you know, Void does Void things, keeps him bashed. This explodes, keep him stunned even more, keeps hitting him, bashes him more. If he gets away, he jumps again. You're there then. You can give him silence, slow them with this, recast this if you need, you know. So on my lane, I just usually buff these to max. You can just kind of ignore this one. You'll be needing mana anyways. There's not so much mana, so you can spam all of these. I just can't invest into these. This one at least, like I said, at least until level 3, and then see what next. But yeah, that's it. Ult you can skip. You do not have to get on level 6. You can get this on level 7, 8, 9. However, if your mid is not coming to gank, there's not really so much point in getting this, so you can kind of decide whenever you get this. That's a rule for every support. Level 6 does not need to happen on level 6 always, you know. It's a case for a lot of heroes. So that will be something with the build. There's a shard, talent tree. Talent tree, I just take the ink spell cooldown. You want this as low as possible. It's like I said, it's just amazing spell. It gets popped here, so on level 15 just take the left one. Ink spell movement speed. The thing already has AoE, stun, and now you give it movement speed. As I said, if anybody's chasing, it's great. If anybody wants to get away, it's also great. I still a lot of value. Spell amplification doesn't do anything for you really. Just take the a lot of sense. Just take the 3 hits to kill Phantom. 3 hits means the target is gonna stay silenced more. They have to hit this more, and the possibility that 360 damage happens is higher immediately, right? So Shock of Fate cast range, you do not care about this. As you can see, if I want to cast this level 1 with the Etherlands, you'll be getting Etherlands. You can see how far this goes already. Do I really need it to go beyond the tree? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Compared to 3 kills to kill Phantom, which is silence though, just like the Phantom. And last one is Ink Spell Radius. Again, you do not care about Stroke of Fate damage. It does this already does a really nice amount of damage, especially if there's people around it. So the more targets this hits, the more damage it does. In a team fight, there's always gonna be somebody there, if not the whole creep wave. So you're gonna get a full, almost always like not a full, but like a lot of damage out of this. There's no need to put everything into that. It's also not a targeted spell. It can still miss a bunch of times. Ink Spell Radius, I always take, just get a nice, you know, bigger AoE chance for this to stun people. That's what you want, kind of, you know, if whenever you give this to somebody, you want them to be in the fight, and once the stun explodes, you want them to hit as many people as possible with the stun. You know, why would you not get that, you know, the possibility of that. So that's kind of the whole Grim thing with the talent tree. It's just another hero where you can kind of stay in the back securely, enjoy your cast range with Etherlands, save your Force Staff and Glimmer Cape if anybody's about to bail or need to push yourself in. If the fight kind of moves there, you can use Force to get closer immediately. Whatever happens there, you got a Glimmer Cape, then you got Silence and everything. Ult, don't just cast ult to just cast it. Ult can be great because if the people panic that get hit by this, if they panic and go different ways, they get stuck in the middle, right? So create a small rope or a bind, however you wanna call it, between two heroes, and I guess you can use that way to prevent them from escaping if they don't go the same way. Because if you cast it and one goes up, the other goes down, or one goes up, other goes right, they're gonna get stretched and stuck like in this spot, right? They're not gonna go anywhere. They have to go at the same direction, and you know, if you're playing pugs with 5 strangers, they might not be able to immediately coordinate and you know, go the right direction at the same time, both of them. So they might just split in full panic. You know, it happens especially if somebody is like closer to the stairs, like on the mid lane of Dire, like these stairs. This guy might just want to run up the stairs so he gets a higher ground, and this guy just wanna go right, and they're gonna get stuck right in the middle, right? So you can kill him off easily. So that's another way to use this. Yeah, let's not waste any more time. This was Grim, and I'll see you guys on the next one.